Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Cardiff City World. Welcome back to the channel. And today, it's your match day preview, Virtue Trophy. You know, it's a big one. It's Cardiff City versus AFC Wimbledon, knockout stage. And now the big question, title of the show really, can the kids do it again? Because, look, last time against Arsenal's under-21s, the kids were sensational. Those young Bluebirds were absolutely unreal, outstanding, brave, confident, fearless on the ball, worked hard off it, high tempo, everything Barry Murphy's tried to do with the first team, really. But they didn't have a lot of the younger players who were in and around the first team because they were away on international duty. Well, tonight we get another step of that in the journey for these kids, but we get a bit more experience and a bit more of the players who are a bit further along in their development. So first things first, this is the Virtue Trophy. It's a competition that isn't massively important, but also I think it can be important in terms of development. Should we just move this out of the way? It can be massively important in the player's development. Could also be silverware for City come the end of the season, but development minutes and opportunities for first team football are vital for all these young players. So tonight I expect a similar starting 11 to the one that faced Arsenal's under-21s, but with a major boost. The lads who are away with the 18s and the 21s will be back and available. So you're talking Mafiko, you're talking Naikahawa, Manny Barton, Rob Tankovic, people like that will all be available for selection. The first team, of course, are available for selection, and you know, if the manager wanted, he could chuck in a Joel Colwell or a Dylan Lawler or Isaac Davis. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it will be the same group who played against Arsenal, plus the likes of Mafiko and that. I would like to see some of the other players, which I'll talk about in a minute, but we'll go with what the manager said. And look, the players that are coming in, like Mafiko and Manny Barton and Naikahawa and others, they're all going to give that extra bit of quality, extra bit of energy. But I think this is going to be a difficult game because I think Wimbledon will be lucky. I think they'll play a slightly stronger side on paper, at least, than what Cardiff will. I think they'll play a couple more first team players, squad players, things like that. But obviously, no way of knowing until the teams come out. BBM, the principles are going to be the same. Cardiff are going to look to play the same identity. 1-2 touch, brave, pass and move, rotations, high pressing, but structured and intelligent football. The players know the system, the staff know the system, they play it in the same in the 21s, the 18s. These games are a brilliant test of whether not just the identity runs through the club, but also whether any of these young lads are really ready for men's football. Against Arsenal, we saw a high line. We saw midfielders stepping in. We saw wingers coming in and being dangerous. Fullbacks overlapping and underlapping. Aggressive counter-pressing. And most importantly, nobody hid. Everybody was at it. Everybody was at it that day. It was really, really good. I love it. I love it. And I love to see it. I mean, it's a weird one. I don't really care about the Virtue Trophy, but I'm super excited, always excited to watch these young players do their thing. And look, they may come to a time where these young players come up against a team which is too good for them. But until then, it's all about development. It's all about getting them minutes. And for those players, yes, the development, etc. But what an opportunity to show and put your hand up and say, no, if you get injuries, you don't need to dip into the market in January. I'm here. And there's a few of them like that, you know. So it's an exciting time. When we look at the opposition in Wimbledon, like sometimes people are going to assume like these games they're easy, cup competition, rotated squads. But Wimbledon are quite a physical side. They're intense. They're hard working. They've got a decent academy system themselves. And this is whether it's a senior side or an academy side that they play, they will be direct, they will be fast, and they'll attack in numbers, and it'll be like a real intense performance from them, you'd think. Now let's be honest, this is exactly the kind of test that these young lads need. Not necessarily pretty football all the time like you get against Arsenal, but you're going to get some genuine EFL aggression within this game. Can you win the duels? Can you handle the crosses? Can you hold your position under pressure? Can you deal with a bit of argy-bargy and talking and a bit of physicality? Can you take the contact and then still make a good decision on the ball? These are questions that all these lads are going to have to answer. In terms of the players to watch, I think there's so many City kids with so much talent, it's difficult to pick out like one or two, but I'm going to try. Will Spears, I thought, he struggled a bit against Newport, went away to Merthyr on a youth loan, and then came back for the Arsenal game, and he was sensational that day. Obviously, he's a naturally gifted young man. He can play right back, he can play right wing. He's calm, he's quick, and he's aggressive. He's direct in the right moments. He looked really, really good against Arsenal, both forward and back. Troy Perrott, kid's electric. He could play wide, but look, let's be honest, number 10 is the one for him. Wimbledon will struggle with him. I think he's fearless. He can beat a man. He's got a nice bit of vision, and he can certainly finish. He's the guy who's been knocking on the door around that first team, and he's been in good form this season, scoring goals, assisting. So it'll be interesting if he can continue that good form at this level again. Naikahawa, and Naikahawa, he's big, he's powerful, skillful. Another player who on his day is very difficult to deal with. He can cause chaos, he can get balls in the box. I want to see him carry the ball. I want to see him be direct when he gets his fullback one-on-one. Beat your man, get the crossing. He's been on the bench a couple of times. He's had a couple of first-team appearances. This is a big opportunity for him to make a stake, to say that he's good enough to be in the first-team squad. And then lastly, Mafiko. And this is a difficult one, right? Mafiko is supremely talented, number 6. Yeah, he's got the physical side of it against him in some ways, but he raises the level, not just on the ball, but off the ball. His reading of the game, he's like Cardiff City's Kante, but young. He's a real good player. His distribution, his positioning, his composure under pressure is very, very good for his age. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him play a substantial part in this game, because he hasn't had many minutes. This lad needs minutes, because I think, depending on what we do in January, he may end up being an important part in the squad second half of the season. You know, if we don't bring anyone in that position, he's going to have to play at some point. In terms of the tactical expectation, look, I think Cardiff are going to build from deep. They're going to build even when they're under pressure. Wimbledon will press. This competition is about learning and staying calm in those moments. Cardiff will try to play. Wimbledon will try to disrupt that. These young players will have to deal with it. I think the midfield rotations, and I also think, you know, getting Mafiko on the ball, try and get him dictating tempo, and then getting Troy Perrott in the pockets to create. The wingers, Naikahawa, Trey George, whoever plays out wide, I would really like to see them be direct, get in behind, get in those half spaces, cutting in, going out on the outside, really put Wimbledon's fullbacks under pressure. And aggressive from the front. We know that in the first team, the Cardiff like to press in like a 4-4-2, and it'll be Salic and Colwell or whoever, and we press and press and press. I would like to see that from this young team. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's a couple of first team players I wouldn't mind have seeing play tonight. I wouldn't mind seeing Gabriel Osho at the back. With De Bono injured, I think you could slot Osho in, give him some much needed minutes. I would like to see Turner in goal, Osho in defence, Mafiko at the 6. I wouldn't be against, as much as I want to see Troy Perrott, I wouldn't be against giving Omari Kellyman a go in the 10, and really seeing what he can do in a game with a bit of pressure off. But look, I doubt it's going to happen, and to be honest with you, I'm really looking forward to seeing Troy Perrott again, so that's okay. And I wouldn't mind seeing Isaac Davis through the middle. He's really shown his fitness this year, and I think he's a good finisher, and I think he could be a real asset through the middle. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Isaac lead these young players from the front. But we shall see. Tempo, tempo, tempo. If Cardiff slow this game down, Wimbledon are going to drag them into a bit of a street fight. We need to control the tempo. We need to dictate the football, and we need to keep it quick and high pace. Where the game will be won? Well, I think Wimbledon are going to be looking on second balls all the time. The fullbacks are going to be important. I think Louis Giles and Will Spears will have a big part to play, so they're going to have to switch on defensively and do their job going forward as well. Transitions will be important, of course. In a young team, players can get overexcited, go a bit too far forward, get caught out of position, so they've got to be composed in the chaos. If we break lines early, these kids can cause real damage, but they can also get caught out of position if they're too far forward or they get overexcited. And then you've got the physicality. Cardiff will not want to get bullied. If Wimbledon do play quite a lot of senior players, there's going to be a physical aspect to this. Don't switch off from crosses and don't play too safe. Cardiff have got to be brave. These young lads have got to be brave. Get on the ball and do your thing. Express yourself and go win the football match. We believe in them. The manager believes in them. Let's hope they believe in themselves. Key question: can the kids do it again? In my opinion, they absolutely can. But this will be a very different challenge to Arsenal. This is going to be about a test of their maturity, mentality, physical resilience. And look, if they play their football, they stay calm and they can handle the physical side, Cardiff can not only go and win this game, but they can certainly dominate possession. Predictions, it's almost impossible because you can't guess the sides, but I'm going to go with Cardiff. I'm so proud and excited by these young players and the way they expressed themselves against Arsenal as if there was just no pressure on them. I love that. This will be a different kettle of fish, but let's go with 3-1 to Cardiff City. Let me know in the comments, who would you like to see? Who are you most looking forward to seeing? Which senior players would you sort of rotate in? Like, how much of a mix? The manager has made it clear that the players who played in the last game are going to be heavily involved in this group, along with the international lads. How much of a balance do you think we need? Do you think we need a little bit more senior presence for this one? Genuinely interested. Let me know in the comments. I read them all. Thank you so much as always. Keep the faith, and I'll see you after the game for the post-match show in a bit.